Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Good morning and good evening to you all around the world. Today, many people think of Jacob and how he fathered the nation of Israel. But before he became the father of all the 12 tribes, he was a son and a brother, and he deceived his father and stole the birthright from his brother. He was not a good man, to say the least. But over the course of his life, Jacob learned forgiveness and redemption and how he should live his life. Not by just stealing and deceiving, no. But he was taught through many trials and errors of his life how he should be for God, how he should live. And he taught it to his children as well. Though his children in many cases were not perfect, Jacob did learn himself that this harvest of law of sowing and reaping was always in motion, always in constant season for him. He learned a lot in his life. But the first thing he learned was deceiving his brother and stealing his blessing, stealing his birthright, right? For a bowl of soup, crafty Jacob stole the birthright from Esau. And now in this story we're going to read that he steals the blessing. The blessing is important because if you are not blessed, you and your descendants are cursed and cut off from God forever. You will not prosper. You will not have a good life, and your generations to come will not have a good life. Rebekah understood the power of blessing, and she crafted a plan with Jacob to steal the blessing. So in this is where we start. Isaiah chapter 27. And starting in verse 27, and in context, this is where Jacob comes in and brings Isaac his food. Prior to that, Isaac feels him. He feels his arms, and he thinks, well, this has to be Esau. But he shouldn't have trusted his feelings. He should have trusted his ears, and when he heard Jacob's voice, he thought it might be Jacob, but then he touched him. He thought, oh, this might be Esau then. And then he blessed him. And this is the blessing that Isaac gave to Jacob. Verse 27 says, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let the people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be the Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed is he that blesseth thee. See, right there was the blessing. And Jacob had blessed the wrong son. And not Jacob, but Isaac had blessed the wrong son, and he ran away, hid. Jacob ran all of his life, and now he was going to run quickly and hide before Esau could come in. Esau comes in, and here's the context. Verse 33. Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that taketh the venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten it all, but thou camest and hast blessed him. Yea, he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, my father. You see, the power of blessing. If you were not blessed, like I said, you were cut off. Your descendants were cut off and cursed. When you're cut off from the blessing of God, your life is like a ditch in ruins. You can't move forward. You will only go backwards. Without God's blessing upon you, you are powerless. You can't be a blessing to the nations around you if God hasn't blessed you. And Esau knew this. He knew that he had failed miserably. He had given up his birthright, and now he had lost his blessing. In revenge, he was going to go kill Jacob. But this is what Isaac said to him. Verse 37, And Isaac said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren I have given to him for servants. With corn and wine I have sustained him. What shall I do unto thee now, son? See, Isaac was at a loss. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say to Esau, because he had given Jacob everything, blessed him with everything. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He needed something. He needed something, or he would be cut off. There would be nothing for him. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. That was the prophecy Isaac gave to Esau. And Isaac blessed him with something. He gave him something. It wasn't the total blessing that his birthright was supposed to go hand in hand with. Jacob got all that. But he got that. And it's true, even today, the descendants of Esau, they live in the fatness of the earth. They have all the oil riches. And they're very powerful people. They're spread throughout all the lands of the Middle East. And they are blessed, right? They are warlike and strong. And God has blessed them because of what Isaac thought to say to his son, his prophecy and the blessing. Esau wasn't happy, though. He lost a lot. And he was going to kill him. He was going to kill Jacob. Jacob, throughout his life, learned what it was like to run and hide and deceive. And he reaped what he sowed in return, right? Finally, Jacob was going home. After 20 years under Laban's roof, he finally learned how to be a blessing to Laban and other people. He then prospered too. And God blessed him with many children. Amen? But it wasn't enough for Jacob. He needed forgiveness. He was going to go to Esau now. Esau, his brother, after all these years of being being a liar and a deceiver, he was now going to have his life changed forever. Just before he crosses into the land, which would be known as Israel, right? He gives a huge offering, right? To seek forgiveness for his brother. You know, he's going into his territory now. And he doesn't want to die, and he doesn't want his family to be wiped out by his brother because of unforgiveness. Remember, the prophecy was that Esau would be warlike. He would be powerful and warlike. He would have men under him. And that was true. He had 400 men ready to go into battle with him at a moment's notice. So in this, he gives his brother a huge offering. And then, let's read this, verse 22. And he rose up that night, and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford of Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent them over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. And when he saw that he had prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. He said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. See right there? Jacob knew never to let go until you were blessed. He'd already been blessed by his father, but now he was fighting with God himself. Bless me, Lord. Because just because my father blesses me, I need it from you too. I need your word. You made a covenant with my father and his father and his father. Now me. Bless me, Lord. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Throughout all of Jacob's life, he had fought with Esau, fought with Laban, fought with whoever tried to steal from him. Granted, he reaped what he sowed, but he fought all of his life. And now he fights with God. And God said, Thou power with God and men, and hast prevailed. You have fought with God. You have fought with men. And you have prevailed. Amen. That's a powerful word right there. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Amen. And he passed over Peniel, and the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. From then on, because of him wrestling with God, he walked with a limp. Jacob now had fought with God. He had fought with men. He had fought all his life, and now the scars of battle were upon him. He was now getting older. And now he was entering into the promised land, the promised land of rest. Amen. The time of fighting was over. He had one last thing to do, though. Forgiveness. Chapter 33 says, And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. He put the handmaids and their children in the front, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph in the behind rear. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Forgiveness. Amen. Oh, how good it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. When that psalm is spoken, I don't have a doubt in my mind that it was referring to Esau and Jacob. Oh, how good it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. And he lifted up his eyes and saw women and children and said, Whose are these with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given thy servant. God has blessed me, Esau. My brother, God has blessed me. And the handmaidens came near, and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah and her children also came near and bowed themselves. And Joseph came near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, There are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough. My brother, keep that thou hast unto myself. You know, Esau said to Jacob, I have enough. God has blessed me. Amen. And because Isaac thought to say those words, Esau was satisfied. He said, I have enough, my brother. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, receive my present in my hand. He wanted to give him a gift, right? Jacob wanted to bless his brother. And his brother said, I have enough. Therefore I have seen thy face, and as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt with me graciously, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. Jacob said, God has blessed me, my brother. I have enough too. The covenant was for both sons. The covenant of being blessed and being mighty was for both sons, even though Jacob was given the birthright, was given the right to inherit the land of Israel, right? But God didn't forget both sons. He blessed both sons. The richness of the earth was theirs. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, and he gave it to both sons, to both Esau and Jacob. He blessed them both. Through all their miscomings and all the things that they had done wrong, both men failed short and had fallen short of the glory of God. Both of them did. They both did things that were not right in the sight of God. But yet God remembered his covenant with them and blessed them both. He didn't forget Isaac's blessing for Esau. And he sure didn't forget Jacob's blessing that was given to him by Isaac. God was happy. Oh, how good it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. And that's the main theme of this message that I want to sum up with you tonight. Seek forgiveness. Forgive one another, love one another. Do good to those that even have despitefully used you. Because, oh, how good it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. Amen. God bless you, my brothers and sisters.